You see, that's what intrigues me so much about the compressor. You have all these different dials, but people get overwhelmed by it, but they really don't need to. So you have this one dial called the threshold, and what the threshold does is determine what signal needs to be met before the compressor begins to work. For example, if you have the threshold set to minus 10 dB, any signal or sound that exceeds minus 10 dB will trigger the compressor to work. And then you have this dial called the ratio. And what the ratio does is determine, once the threshold has been met, how aggressively and how the compressor will behave. So if you have a ratio with high settings, the compressor will act more like a clamp, like a limiter. And if you have it on low settings, the compressor will act a lot less aggressively. And then you have this thing called the attack and release. And what the attack does is, the attack determines how fast the compressor will begin to work once the threshold has been met. And then you have this thing called the release. And what the release does is determine how quickly the compressor will let go of the sound once the signal drops below the threshold. So, in summary, if you wanted to apply a little bit of compression to a drum bus, you would have light settings, a medium attack, medium release, and a low ratio of, say, 2. And it will just glue the sound. If you wanted to clamp your low end so the levels are consistent, you might have a higher ratio, and so it acts like a brick wall limiter. Do you understand? Do you not think that's amazing?
Yeah, great.